When preparing for medical school applications, we often think of hard metrics like GPA and MCAT. However, there is an increasingly common metric that examines an applicant's soft skills that you need to be aware of. Dr. Jabal, MedSchoolInsiders.com. Although a stellar GPA and MCAT build the foundation of any medical school application, interpersonal skills are also vital. Doctors must have a strong foundation of knowledge and possess superior cognitive abilities, but also be able to communicate effectively with their patients. They must be able to listen closely to their patient's history to deduce what could be wrong with their health, as well as deliver a wide range of challenging and potentially devastating information. The Casper test is designed to give medical schools insight into an applicant's soft skills, and an increasing number of schools are adopting it as an application requirement. Beginning with the 2022 to 23 application cycle, there will also be significant changes to the Casper format. So even if you've taken this test in the past and are looking to retake it for the upcoming application cycle, you're going to want to stay tuned until the end. Here's everything you need to know about the new Casper test and how to best prepare to maximize your chances of a medical school acceptance. Casper stands for Computer-Based Assessment for Sampling Personal Characteristics. True to its name, Casper is a computer-based test designed to measure what kind of person you are beyond your GPA and hard metrics. It's an assessment of your professionalism, social intelligence, and bedside manner. Students are presented with 15 different scenarios and have to answer questions detailing how they would respond to each hypothetical situation. The test evaluates applicants based on 10 non-academic attributes. Previously, the exam was composed of only typed responses. However, starting this year, there's a new mandatory video response section as well. This section was added in response to complaints that typing speed was becoming a limiting factor for many applicants. It's important to note that, unlike the MCAT, you can only take the Casper once per application cycle. If your medical school application is unsuccessful, you will need to take the Casper again the next time you apply. Currently, not all medical schools require you to take Casper. However, there are already dozens of medical schools that require it, with more following suit each year. The test season generally runs from May to December, but Casper test dates will vary by school. You'll need to pay attention to the due dates set by the specific schools you choose. To find out which medical schools require Casper and get links to the latest Casper test dates and times, check out our guide at MedSchoolInsiders.com, link in the description. As for the test format, starting with the 2022 to 23 application cycle, the Casper test will be broken down into two sections, a typed response section and the new video response section. The first section of the test is the typed response section, which is what Casper looked like before. You will be presented with 6 video-based scenarios and 3 word-based scenarios in random order. For each scenario, you will have 5 minutes to answer 3 corresponding questions explaining how you would respond to the situation presented. You will have a 5-minute break in the middle of this section. Before moving to the video response section, you will be able to take another optional 10-minute break. We highly recommend that you utilize this time to compose and prepare yourself. This is the time to warm up your vocal cords, reset your posture, and perform a breathing exercise. For the video response section, you will be presented with 4 video-based scenarios and 2 word-based scenarios. After each scenario, you will have 30 seconds to reflect on what you saw or read, followed by 10 seconds to read your question before responding. For each question, you will have 60 seconds to respond by video recording. After the 60 seconds are up, your video answer will automatically be submitted for assessment. If you don't need the entire 60 seconds, you can submit your answer sooner. If your answer is longer than 60 seconds, you will be cut off once 1 minute is up, and whatever you said during that minute will be submitted. There is no extra time available, no reviewing your response, and no do-overs. If you freeze or completely mess up on a question, don't panic. You're assessed based on your overall performance on each scenario. Collect yourself and take a deep breath. What matters more is how you answer the next question. Roll with the punches and continue to move forward. Next, let's cover how the test is scored. Each section of Casper is scored by a unique rater, so your Casper score will be composed of many independent impressions of you. For the typed response section, raters are trained to ignore spelling and grammar mistakes. However, you should still try to keep mistakes at a minimum. A few minor grammatical errors aren't a big deal, but major errors could impact the rater's ability to understand your answer. For the video responses, raters are trained to not judge you by your appearance. That being said, humans are still subjective and biased creatures. Therefore, it's still best practice to dress professionally and make sure your environment is clean and clear of any clutter. Each Casper response is scored relative to the other responses to the same scenario, so your score signifies the strength of your response compared to other test takers' responses. It's on a curve. You will not receive a specific score per se, however, you will receive a quartile that indicates how well you performed relative to your peers. According to Altus Suite, you might end up in a higher quartile based on 5 reasons: effort, empathy, equity, communication, and familiarity with the medium. Strive to explain your position clearly and use the full time allotted to answer as thoroughly as possible. You should also try to meaningfully consider all perspectives in the scenario and show a great deal of respect and fairness in regards to the needs of others. Unfortunately, you won't get to see how you did after after you complete the test. Your Casper score is automatically submitted to the medical schools you're applying to. None of the schools you are applying to will see your responses, only the scores recorded by the Casper raters. Initially, Altus is only sending your typed response scores to all participating schools, and your quartile results are also only based on your typed responses. Results from the video response section will be shared with a handful of programs selected by Altus and used to help them evolve the Casper assessment. This means, 1, you still need to prepare for the video response section even though your results are not included in your initial Casper score. And 2, you can expect Altus will continue to make changes and evolve the Casper test. Although you can't study for the Casper test in the traditional sense, you can still practice and prepare for it. The first step is to familiarize yourself with the Casper format. This is a unique test with specific procedures that need to be followed exactly, so it's vital that you are comfortable with the test format and time constraints. Sample scenarios and questions can be found for free on the Casper website and will be just like the ones you will encounter on the real test. There is a practice test available when you access your Altus Suite account, so make sure you take full advantage of these resources. Once you've worked through a few practice questions, start using a timer and challenge yourself to respond within the time constraints of the actual test. 5 minutes for each set of 3 typed response questions and 60 seconds for each video response question. If you find yourself constantly running out of time on the typed response section due to your typing speed, start practicing right away. Although the new video-based sections will help offset poor typing speed, the majority of the test still requires typed responses. If this is a weak area for you, it's in your best interest to work on it before test day. There are a variety of tools available online to help you increase your typing speed. Links below. When preparing for your test, it's important to remember that there isn't an exact right answer when it comes to the Casper questions. The test is meant to gauge your professionalism and common sense decision making by asking you what you would do in hypothetical scenarios where the ethics of the situation may not be clear. One of the best strategies to respond to questions on the test is by using if-then conditional statements. If this is the case, then I would respond this way. However, if this is the case, then I would respond this other way. Responding to questions in this way demonstrates your ability to understand both sides of a situation, think ahead, and consider the possible consequences of your actions. It also allows you to reframe the problem by adding additional context that's not supplied by the intentionally vague scenario. For the video portion of Casper, raters will view your recorded responses. While you are practicing, record yourself answering the questions within the 1-minute time frame and review it back. Critique yourself and make adjustments as needed. When you watch your video response, ask yourself these questions. Do you look confident? Are you speaking clearly? Are you making eye contact with the camera? Are you able to answer the question to the best of your ability without running out of time? Continue practicing in this fashion until you are confident and happy with your results. It can also help to get feedback from trusted friends, family, or study groups to learn how you can improve. You can also work with trusted experts with real medical school admissions committee experience on our website. Remember, even though you can't see the scorers when you're recording, there is someone on the other end who will be rating your response. Do your best to treat your answers like a real conversation. Make eye contact with the camera and use hand gestures like you would if you were speaking to someone in person. This will help you seem and feel more confident, and it will keep the person reviewing your answers engaged and interested in what you have to say. Once you feel comfortable and confident, it's time to take the test. The Casper test is available online, so you can take it from anywhere just so long as you have a computer, a webcam, a microphone, and a reliable internet connection. Start by preparing your technology. Chrome and Firefox are the only supported browsers for the test, so make sure they are downloaded and up to date. Test your internet to make sure you have a strong and reliable connection. If you live with roommates, let them know that you will be relying on a strong internet connection on test day. You don't want connection issues just because your roommate wanted to play video games. On test day, make sure your laptop is fully charged and you have a power cord nearby. The last thing you want to do is let a simple tech issue like forgetting to charge your computer affect your mindset on test day. On the big day, you can't afford to be distracted. Casper is a timed test, and if you're thrown off your game by a notification or a roommate knocking on your door, it could really hinder your performance, especially on the video-based section. Choose a quiet and distraction-free environment to take your Casper. If you live with other people, let them know what Casper is and when you will be taking the test. Or better yet, ask your roommates to leave the house or apartment for a couple hours. Maintaining your focus is critical. Do whatever is necessary to preserve it. Once you've tested your technology and readied your environment, the only thing left to do is get in the right headspace. Understandably, there's a lot of pressure for pre-meds around test taking, especially ones you can't study for. Ensure that you enter the test cool, calm, and collected. Fully utilize both of your Casper breaks to reset and calm your nerves. Perform breathing exercises, stretch, and reset your posture during this time. If you've thoroughly prepared and practiced, there's no reason to be anxious about Casper. It is but a bump in the road on your way to becoming a doctor. That being said, if you still find yourself stressed the day of the test, try reframing that fear as excitement. The physiological response to fear and excitement are nearly identical. Change your perspective and try viewing that stress as excitement. hand. Remind yourself that you've prepared and you're ready to rock and roll. Invite the challenge and show that friendly ghost what you're made of. If you want to truly maximize your Casper performance to improve your medical school application, including additional sample Casper scenarios, breakdowns, and advanced techniques, check out the brand new Med School Insiders Casper course. It's the one-stop single resource that will take you from zero to hero with Casper. The first 100 customers can use the coupon code CASPER22 for 25% off. Thank you all so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to check out Medical School Application Explained or this other video. Much love, and I'll see you guys there.